Today we're going to be talking about card prices and how a Tier 0 format shapes things up, along with the differences in short prints across the pond with, the European versions with Kelbeck, some of these other ones that are a lot more different in price. So make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So let's talk about the implication of these Tier 0 formats, how the market is going to look at this format here, and how you'll probably see a lot of fire selling here as time goes on. Now, with the implication of a possible emergency ban list, according to the community, they swear it's coming. They swear. Well, here's the thing, all right? So you're entering into the holiday season here. You have Black Friday coming up here. You have Christmas, all right? You guys remember the last times we had a crazy powerful format like this? 6 cents. These are usually the points in the year where they want to drop these crazier formats just to have places for them to do their thing. Now, are prices going to change over time? I think a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of big differences. Now, one thing I want to point out here before we get too far into this video, there are price differences between the English versions, the American prints, and the European prints for the Ishizu package, all right, which is very interesting because while they got more, they got less of the Ishizu cards for a majority of what I was seeing. So some onset price differences, pretty interesting overall. So I just want to say, we've seen this before with Secret Mizuki's Alti Security Orb, which doesn't exist in the American print of Glass, for those of you who don't know. This will happen every so often, where you'll see in certain prints, you'll see different availability rates. And then, of course, it looks like the American market won on this one for once, with the package being so much cheaper on our side of the market. So, yes, there are comparable differences between card market and TCG player. Obviously, the European market's going to be focusing more on card market because that's how they're going to buy their cards versus, the American market. Yeah. So, little things with that. So, I just wanted to say, comparable price differences and availability for cards is always going to be interesting. Now, the fact that the format now, people are looking at this format and they're going, oh my gosh, this is some crazy stuff. Like, what are we going to do here? Do I hold my tier core? Do I move my tier core? Robbie, help me here. Like, what is the mentality for this? So here's the thing. Previously when 6 cents was around, you saw such a crazy format. You knew that 6 cents was going to get banned. Next list, all right? You were like, this is crazy. This shouldn't exist. There will be, at a ban list junction at some point, there will be some sort of reduction or hits to the Ishizu package. We know this, all right? And it doesn't take a scientist to tell you that, all right? Now, the problem with 50% of these is you've got to decide, do I want to move my tier core now or do I hold? Big thing is, we've seen in the past that they can hit enough of the cards that the deck will still function. All right, I guess a lot of the points here will be, you technically dodged the last ban list, according to some people. You're like, oh, they just hit Sprite, they didn't hit Tier. I mean, yeah, that's fine, but now the deck is technically evolved 2 stages behind its previous iteration, and it's now so crazy powerful that something's going to happen. So now we have to go down the list of, in terms of price points here, Paralineos being $90. Well, if regionals are going to be the only real thing that are going to be left, I mean, there is the Remote Duel YCS coming up in December, which could keep prices up, but you're going to see a lot of these card prices start to fall once more of these events pass. You have one YCS left in Europe, and then you have the Remote Duel YCS. That's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of this year. So unless you have a locals that you enjoy playing tier at, and you're enjoying, just the fisticuffs of playing, Ishizu tier, then that's fine. Keep the core. Enjoy it. I think that the deck is very, very fun, but if you're worried about losing money, now is the point that you want to consider the offset drop for that, because price points can only go down here from this point. So big price differences between this and then, of course, the Ishizu stuff will probably drop in the near future. So there's that. Now, what's going on here with the other side of the Tier 0 format? Tier 0 formats technically bring down the prices on a lot of stuff, actually, because everybody's going to look at the rest of these competitive decks, and they're going to be like, oh, like, this isn't viable anymore, which means that I could pick up a deck core for cheaper now. Well, technically, yes. I think you can, which is actually kind of nice. I think at this point in time is one of those times where you can look at the format and go, wow, these are the 3 best decks. Everything else is competitively unviable. I mean, yeah, you can see that. So this is going to be an opportunity that if you're looking at certain deck cores and you're like, wow, obviously the flip side of the equation is you're not going to get Shotri-La cards for cheap at all because everybody is gearing up for that deck. Oh, yes, they are. Fenrir's continue to get bought out pretty much every week. 17 listings at some days. We've seen 10 listings on others for Fenrir. So if you're somebody out here, it's like, oh, I could pick up Shotri-La. No, you can't pick up Shotri-La cards cheap. No. You can pick up something like Invoked continues to get cheaper. You can pick up Black Wings. The Sword Soul stuff just got infinitely cheaper because of those core reprints. All right, Advent and the Flundery stuff not going to get much cheaper because it's technically one of the 2 decks that's standing up to it. But there are generalized movements pushing down across the market just overall. Like, that's just how it's going right now. So Tier 0 formats do help in the regard of pushing down other stuff. I did hear some other talk, though, that on the flip side of that argument, a lot of high rarity staples are actually going up, which is kind of interesting. When you see, oh, hey, I need X card for the format and this is available in a higher rarity, people are more willing to pay the prices for the bling. All right, don't underestimate that a Tier 0 format might send a lot of players packing and force them into points of being like, hey, I don't want to play this format, and that's fine. But the people that do want to play those staple cards, a lot more people are going to be like, oh, I want to bling out my deck. I really enjoyed this particular deck. This is what I want to do. And you will see those prices tank up. So that's definitely something interesting to take note of as well. The market at points like this, we don't see a lot of Tier 0 formats in the modern era because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been designed relatively well in the regard of, we can fix things. But when you enter into this little sphere here and you can see how your card prices are impacted with this. I mean, what is it? I think people tiers like what, 5? No, it's way more than 500. If you're dealing with max rarity tier, you're in the thousands because Rukalos and things like that. I would say $1,000 you can build tier and be good to go. $1,000 for a Tier 1 deck is kind of expensive for Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, we've got formats where it's cheaper. I mean, you can play Flunder for cheaper, but it's interesting. So, a little bit of heads up. Holiday season in a Tier 0 format going to continue to make those card prices fluctuate down. It's a fantastic time if there's something that you want to give some consideration to picking it up. Don't dilly-dally. The longer you wait, you look at a market price and something. When looking at the Maven staples, all that stuff shot up, all right? One big thing I will say about this format is, yes, there are a lot of people taking a break, like I previously said, because of this. But people are picking up those staples right now to play again after this format shifts back, all right? Because we can't maintain this current level power creep. Players need to, they can maintain this current level power creep, but they need to be able to roll things back. They need to be able to get those players in. Players are buying the product. Players are buying the staples because they know that in a month or two past the holiday season, there will be a new hope in 2023 that things will look a little bit better. So, interesting time to pick things up. It's an interesting time in the game overall, but I will say that it is definitely, it's a good time in the market. It really is. So, I do love these downward spirals and things, but if you got a tier core, you might want to hopscotch that thing away. One, you already know it's up for reprints and a possible ban list, so you're literally just playing hot potato with it, and you're like, I mean, it takes one limit and a reprint. Send Perolino down to $10 or something crazy like that. So, I don't know, but what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.